Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boom Bar right here on your Boom Radio NG. My name is Oladolupo. I bid you a warm welcome to the bar this very interesting afternoon. Sorry that we started a little late. There are a few issues that needed to be sorted out. But of course, I'm here. We're here today. So sit back, relax, and let's get right into today's show. And today is going to be very interesting. There are a few things we're going to be talking about. President Tinubu has officially signed a new wage bill. It's official. There's a new wage bill in town, or more like there's a new what's the word now? There's a new minimum wage that has been signed that we're going to be talking about. Also, looks like protests have begun. We would get to that as well. Different parts, there's different reactions from different protests. We're going to be talking about that as well. And then there's a lot of Olympic updates that we're also going to take. We're also going to talk about that as well. So sit back, relax. I'm not alone on the show today. I'm going to be on the show with Shala Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's always a pleasure to be here. And of course, let the show begin.
Okay, so first things first, just a few minutes before we came on the show, it's official. President Tinubu has signed the new minimum wage bill into law. So what that means is that it's official for civil servants. At least those are the ones that we're kind of like almost sure that we're sure that they're getting a new minimum wage. Those ones, they're going to be getting their ×3 money. Is it ×3? ×2 and a little bit more. So that is what we're going to be talking about right now. And what does that mean? You know, I saw a breakdown a few days ago how first things first, and we've said it over and over again, nobody's collecting 70,000 naira. I think level 4 step 1 is getting about 110,000 naira. However, what's the percentage of people that are getting this money? We're already grappling with the issue of inflation. Is this not going to see a surge or an inflation in price of goods and services? Keep in mind, there's just a small chunk. The private sector has still not come out to categorically say they're going to pay that amount of money. Governors, a lot of governors that just started paying 30,000. If I'm correct, some people have not even started paying the 30,000 self. Mm-hmm. What is going to happen to those people as well? Looks like this 70,000 naira is only getting to the federal civil servants, as in those ones that are sure, and maybe a handful of states.
Yeah, at least we know that Edo State is already paying that much.
Yeah,
and Lagos is paying something like that.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't think Lagos will have an issue with paying 70,000 naira minimum wage. So now that's it. If we say okay, maybe Rivers State, maybe a handful of states were sure that will pay that amount of money. What's now the fate of everybody else?
Well, according to the labor union leadership, they already talked about how they had plans to, face the states that refuse to pay the minimum wage, and they're going to ensure that they get them to pay.
It took them 5 years to make some states like Zamfara.
Yeah, but they can feed off the momentum of what they've achieved.
Oh, okay.
In the last couple
then
of
too, they were
weeks.
Fighting for minimum wage increment. They got it, and it still took 5 years for some states to play catch up.
But as at that time, there were no statements to that effect. But this time now, they know that over that period of 5 years that you're referring to, If they didn't learn anything, they learned that some states were willing to pay. They were unwilling to pay.
I don't see anything changing. Take for example, the Zamfara state that I think June, that just started paying minimum wage at the end of June. Are you going to say now? They're saying they probably would say that they don't have that much funding and all that. Are we now going to say that same set of people who have those governors who have already been collecting extra allocation for like about a year now, and still just decided to catch up with 30,000 naira like a month ago? Are we now going to say that those ones will suddenly just manufacture 70,000 naira? Isn't that just, wouldn't it even be shocking?
Yeah, well, we can also hinge it on the fact that the states are receiving a higher allocation from the federal.
That's what I'm saying, but they've already been collecting this allocation for like a year.
Yes, but now that they have this new demand from the people, and of course knowing that the federal government has already set the pace, and they're all part of the tripartite commission anyway, or committee, tripartite committee. It was not just a federal government sit down. They had all the stakeholders.
So I
at this
actually
meeting.
did read about that as well, and in 2019 this tripartite committee was there as well with the governors, and majority of governors still did not abide by the 30,000 naira minimum wage.
Exactly.
So what's stopping them from not doing this exact same thing now? That's my question.
Yeah, that's why I said that the Labour says that they are going to concentrate on them. So maybe that's what's going to stop them. Maybe when Labour concentrates on whatever it is that has gone down there and how it is going down, also monitoring the fact that the payments are not coming from the state alone this time. The local governments also are now getting their autonomy. They are going to be, collecting money, and things will not be upside down.
Anyway, for what I wanted, I don't know, Sha. I don't see how this would work. I know that is not making sense, but it is what it is.
Yeah, look, the truth is that it is looking like the only people who are guaranteed are the federal workers. But those are the people who are actually agitated the most. Those are the people who have fought the most. Those are the people who have organized labor more or less in their corner. Because the bulk of these people are also more or less working. Most of them are working in the federal establishments.
Yeah.
Only a few of them fall into the organized private sector. So we all know that it was going to be like this in the first place. The prayer now is that to see how it would have an effect on the organized private sector. Again, when people were supposed to speak up against some of these things that were going down, a lot of people were playing ostrich. They kept quiet and all of that. Now that this has come up, are you going to put a gun to the heads of business owners to say, this is the way to go? Do you understand? You know how recently, I think it was about 2 years ago, there was this massive layoff of workers, especially in the banking sector. Mm-hmm. So how are you going to make them pay? If you even insist that they should do, they will say, okay, they've heard you. And we know what that means.
And nothing happens.
They're going to downsize.
Exactly my point. Exactly.
So at the end of the day, you end up throwing a lot of people back into the labor market. And that's why we were saying over and over again that an increased minimum wage is good, an improved minimum wage is good, but the things that you should be agitating for are the things that actually take people's monies away in the first place, because they have to buy stuff anyway, so they go to the market.
Okay, so I think our live feed is actually frozen. I think something...
Oh.
Yes, I would... Yep. I think that... okay, yes, it is actually frozen. Would for if you can hear us, I think that we're going to have to cut it off and go